Welcome, everyone. My name is Susan Patterson. I'm a national leader in the fight against human trafficking and author of this book, How You Can Fight Human Trafficking, Over 100 Ways to Make a Difference. In writing the book, I had the opportunity to meet so many extraordinary, inspiring people who are really making a difference. I wanted to bring them to this YouTube channel because it is more meaningful to hear their stories from them rather than reading about them in a book. Jessica Pittman is one of those people. Jessica started a coalition in the Central Valley in California that is doing great work to engage her community. One of their efforts is Freedom Sunday, which is a powerful way to raise awareness and mobilize people to take action. At this channel, you can find many training videos, like the one on how the faith community can take action in the fight against human trafficking. You can also find other videos like this one of inspiring people, like the 15-year-old who, together with his youth group and their parents, hosted a 500-person event at their school for the purpose of discouraging his peers from viewing porn, or the two best friends who got together and created a home for survivors. If you have done something significant and would like to do an interview with me for this channel, please do email me through our website, throughgodsgrace.com. You can help us to mobilize the community to fight human trafficking by subscribing to this channel and liking and sharing this video. Let's join Jessica now. So welcome, everyone. Today we have Jessica Pittman, who I'm so excited to have here. She is such a leader in her community. She's going to talk to us about Freedom Sunday, which is a fantastic way to raise awareness regarding human trafficking. Jessica has been a community advocate and faith leader for the past 20 years in the Central Valley in California. Currently, she is the regional director for preventing and addressing child trafficking, providing training, support, and technical assistance for counties in the Central Valley. She is also the founder of the Central Valley Justice Coalition, a nonprofit organization that partners with the church and community to prevent human trafficking through education, partnership, and outreach. So Jessica, welcome.
Thank you so much, Susan, for having me. It's great to be here.
Yes, I'm so excited to hear about what you have to say. So why don't you tell us about Freedom Sunday?
Absolutely. Freedom Sunday is actually one of the first things we did as the Justice Coalition in Central Valley, and it's a day that we encourage churches all over the valley to come together, either on the same day in Central Valley, we do it the last Sunday of February, or any Sunday at all that works for them, to really lean into this concept of freedom, to understand and just learn a little bit about human trafficking and the ways that people are exploited in our own community, and to really pray and take action against trafficking for freedom. So it can really look like a lot of different things depending on the way that you worship at your church, but the whole idea is to really learn a little bit, to pray, and to take some action, and to really support the efforts of those who are already in this issue, and to really be a presence and a space for people who are experiencing exploitation to understand that there are pathways out and support for them. So that's really the vision behind Freedom Sunday.
That's fabulous. Now, what usually happens at the church? Like, how is it set up?
Sure. You know, it looks different everywhere, as I mentioned, but what we love, I would say our ideal Freedom Sunday is that really a church takes the entire service. Now, that's not possible for everyone. So a lot of times it'll just be about 10, 15 minutes. Hopefully you engage in some worship that really kind of gets your heart ready to hear, because this is a really serious, dark issue. And so we encourage to really craft the whole service around that if possible. And then it really depends again. Sometimes one of us from the Justice Coalition will come share. But we really love to equip leaders in their own church to actually bring the message, and so we provide resources for that. But it looks like a 10-minute focus of really casting the vision. Here is why we as the church really care about this, really engaging God's heart for justice and for freedom for those who are oppressed and for those who are currently in actual tangible forms of exploitation. And so we read a passage from scripture, usually from Luke chapter 4, or really any passage that has Jesus sharing his mission of really setting the oppressed free. And so we share that passage. We oftentimes share a freedom story, we call it. So sometimes that's a video, sometimes it's really just a story, because this issue is so dark. It's important to really remember and celebrate the ways that people are finding freedom. So we share a freedom story. we help people learn how to get involved. And so that's always how we end our time. We really don't want to overwhelm people about the issue of trafficking and leave them wondering, well, what do I do next? And so we provide really tangible ways to get involved and making a difference.
Now, do you do that from the front of the room, or do you have tables outside with pamphlets where you engage people?
All those things. So yes, we usually do it from the front of the room, absolutely. Some churches really prefer just the table, but most churches want to take at least, like I said, 10 to 15 minutes. Sometimes it's the whole sermon. Sometimes we'll be invited to preach, or the pastor will craft his entire message around this concept of freedom, around really engaging in that. And then we absolutely always have a resource table that provides really tangible ways, whether it's a prayer guide or a way to sign up to volunteer or information about further education. We really believe in education. And so we can really only scratch the surface of this issue in 10 or 15 minutes. And so it's definitely our goal to provide churches with everything they need for a table. So if we aren't there in person, they can simply print off what is needed, and we can walk them through what those resources are to have out there. And absolutely important to have those there, because almost every time, I'll tell you, this is just it never ceases to amaze me. Almost every time we do Freedom Sunday, someone in the church realizes that this has been part of their own experience. And sometimes that's sometimes that's for the first time. And so it's really important to be prepared for that and to have people ready for that. And so if we aren't there, we make sure to really be intentional about training some people to be prepared for that, because that's really part of our mission, and we definitely want to be aware of that.
Very good. Now, what impact do you feel it's had on the community too? I mean, if it's being done in several churches, we're talking about raising awareness among thousands on any one day. So what impact do you feel it's had on the community when you've done this?
Yes, well, I think I just spoke to that for one thing. So that's really important to know, that it reaches people who may already be in those situations, or maybe it was in their past and they're on their healing journey, but they need some more support. So that's really, really important. And in addition to that, I think it's really served to just mobilize the faith community in our region, because you're right, we have actually worked with over 50 churches throughout the last few years. And sometimes we have thousands of people doing this on one day. So in addition to, I believe, the spiritual impact that we don't always see, it really just, I think, raises the education level of so many people, and just really, I hope, opens up the door for God to move in their hearts and minds. And so from that Sunday, we have churches who respond with, we really, next Sunday, we're going to host a class to really dig into what it looks like, or we're going to launch, using Freedom Sunday, we're going to launch into a study on what God's heart for justice is, or we're going to make backpacks for victims and survivors and donate them to organizations like ours who work with them. So we always really come alongside the church and say, hey, besides Freedom Sunday, like, what is it that this might lead to? And so sometimes it also ends up in long-term, our hope is long-term partnership with churches, and they become what we would call even a freedom church, who's committed to doing Freedom Sunday every year, but all throughout the year really engaging and doing this work with us.
That's outstanding. That's so inspiring to hear all that's happening just out of raising awareness. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
So if a church wanted to do this, I understand that you have resources at a website that they could use and handouts. So why don't you tell us how we can access that?
Absolutely. It's really easy. Just go to our website, which is justiceco.org. And if you actually type in justiceco.org/Freedom Sunday, it'll take you straight to our page with a whole lot of resources. So we have a video brand new for this year, 2021. We have older videos. We've been doing this, as you mentioned, we've been around for about 10 years. So there's videos back from 4 or 5 years ago as well. And in addition to videos, we have other resources, such as, here's a PowerPoint template that you can actually take. And of course, we can walk people through how to use it, but you can take it, if you reach out to us, you can even customize it to fit what you would like. So it's really easy. We have worship folder inserts, and then we have other things like you mentioned, like we talked about at the prayer table, at the table. So you can print out prayer guides, you can print out a sign-up sheet to get more information. So it's really all set up for you. If you don't see it on the website, you can reach out to us, because there are a lot more resources than are just posted there. But there's also a lot you can just download and preview as well. And in addition to that, there's an interest form. So if you're really interested in doing this and want some support from us, just fill out that interest form. One of the staff at the coalition will reach out to you, and we'll set up a time to really make sure that we can support you in the best ways we know how.
I love it. I love it. Is there anything else you feel our audience should know about this event?
I think that just if it's something that you're interested in, that God's put in your heart, really just get a couple people around you and ask God how it would look at your church. We're really committed to using that creativity and having the Spirit of God craft it in the best way possible for your congregation, and we're available to support. So other than that, thank you so much for having me and spreading the word. We know that it's a powerful tool that God is using.
Yes, and I can't thank you enough, Jessica, for taking the time to be with us today. And I really pray and I hope that as a result of people seeing this video, we'll have thousands and thousands more churches doing this, because it is a very powerful way to bring attention to this issue. So thank you again for being here.
Absolutely. And thank you for the work you're doing as well.
Thank you.